All right, we are going to preview third quarter and also take a look back at the second quarter. The quarter has now been uploaded. Everyone should be able to get their pre-files. For a second there, their pre's weren't up, but they're there now. And we have Butch joining. Welcome, Butch.
Good afternoon. How are you, Anthony?
Doing well. Congratulations on a great quarter.
Smoke and mirrors, man. It's all
And while
smoke
we
and mirrors.
Well, let's dive into it. While we have you here, let's go straight into that. So the Packers went 4-0. If you could recount your games, first one is Pittsburgh.
If I remember correctly, Pittsburgh's kind of angling for next year a little bit anyway. Yeah, and my typical
They had
offense is.
good on 3-4. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They are good 3-4, I believe. So
Right.
that's something to play for. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my whole philosophy this year is just to take what the defense gives me. And, a lot of people play my team for the flat pass. And so if they flood those zones, I'll take Debo or Adams and go deep and take my chances. So
I think this game was close at halftime. And we can take a look at you saw some of those rankings here. Let's take a look.
Right.
So on second down, you are best in the league in terms of yards to go. That stands out. Interesting to note. And I think you're doing that, if I'm not mistaken, you're doing that by running on first down, right? Yeah. So you lead the league in running on first down. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a run first philosophy.
Well, like I said, it depends on what they give me. A lot of people are flooding the flat zones and expecting me to throw flats, and so that opens it up for Chubb a little bit. If I'm throwing flats all day long, they're not going to bring those linebackers up to stop the run zone. So that helps a little bit there.
I think
go ahead,
most of us are less interested in how you're doing it offensively and more interested in how you're doing it defensively, because remember, the pack is very poor against the run.
Yep. And so I play a lot of run. I call a lot of run. I have a pretty decent secondary with the 2-6 corners. So I let them kind of stand their own out there, and I take chances on defense. And so far I've been lucky. I mean, I've got my luck is going to wear out. I don't anticipate another 7 1/2, but it's a fun team. I mean, it really is a fun team to play. And I think you remember how I was talking about how I overpaid for Jimmy G, but he's actually stepped up. He's really doing well for me. And in this offense, he's really good. I'll have to say that. So.
And you held Carolina to 3 points.
Yeah.
Which is amazing with that, because Carolina, I believe, is a big runner of the ball.
Yeah.
For some reason I can't get to those box scores, but Carolina, I thought it was another big runner. Let's see here. League totals, rushing stats, Carolina. Yeah, they don't pass much. You see 24th in pass across the board here in attempts, and the big runner, yet you held them to 3 points.
Yeah.
Your squad on defense, let's go look at your defensive totals here in terms of rank. I mean, that's ungodly for a 24-team league. 7th in attempts, 4th in completions against. And look at this, 5th in rush yards. And that's without leading the league in guess and run. I know you don't want to give away state secrets, but you're
I don't have any secrets. I don't have a lot of secrets. I've been lucky, like I said. Obviously, I think when I played Carolina, they're definitely a run first team, and you get into one of those situations, and again, I told the coach of Carolina this. Wait till next year. But Jalen Hurts' guessed wrong or guessed right column doesn't scare me in the past too much. So especially with the sixth corner. So yeah, I called a lot of run and just went for it.
You're right.
I'm having fun with this team. That's the thing. I'm just really having a good time with them. Uh,
You're
I try to
certainly
control them. I
holding on
try.
to the ball. I mean, look at
Yeah,
this.
I
Number
don't.
one in giveaways, just four.
Yeah, and I know I got a lot. My DBs have quite a few picks. I know that, so that helps as well. So
10th in league in takeaways. First downs on third down, number one, third and 11, number one in the league
yeah,
on converting on third and long. Two in the league on second and long. I'm guessing you're running here a lot. I could dive down to that level. We won't go that far deep here, but and then on defense, pretty solid across the board. No number one ranking, but your worst is 18th on third and 11 and long.
yeah.
But for the most part, a lot of top 10. A lot of top 10.
Like I said,
Um,
smoke and mirrors, man. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
ooh,
My
and Mark
defense is
joins us.
yeah.
Welcome, Mark. Sorry, Butch, go ahead.
My defense has many holes on the front, and I see how these guys offering up these defensive ends and everything, and I say, oh, I wish I had something to trade for them, but I don't. So I'm not willing to break up my cornerback. So
Well, Mark, before diving in deeply into your team, I just noticed the first game on the schedule is Green Bay, Arizona. So our two 7-1s will be facing each other. Please, guys, give us some notice on this one so we can broadcast. We need to start doing some broadcasts as we get in the third quarter. This is one we would like to broadcast. Which one of you would like to be modest and say you're going to lose first between the two of you?
I probably I will probably lose first. I'm thinking, you know, it's got to come to an end soon. My run. And the game I lost, I think I got my rear end handed to me, if I remember right.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was Green Bay, San Diego. No, I'm sorry, not Green Bay, San Diego. Mark, you lost to
Tampa. He beat me in
uh,
my other league too,
Tampa.
Aiden.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, in your game, Butch, it was San Diego, 45-19,
yeah,
and Jimmy G, of course, still didn't throw a pick, and you didn't fumble.
right.
And instead,
He just dominated.
yeah, well, I guess so. I mean, 375 to 363, you outgained. You had a
Right.
point five. He had a point five yard per play advantage. But yeah, that's been your one loss. So, Mark, you're going to face Butch coming up here in the third.
Yeah,
Thoughts
looking
on that
forward to it.
matchup? Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
Have you had a
forward
chance to
to
look
it.
at the team?
I've had a lot of luck so far. This team got put together. I thought it was a 500 team, so I'm feeling pretty happy to be 7-1.
Jordan Howard's a nice weapon. I mean, that's for sure. Um, he'll get your run calls.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you're running successfully with him at 6.2, but McCaffrey's having trouble at
He
3.5.
is. I've just had no luck hitting when I have run them. I've not had luck, and it's funny. I played against him in my other league, and the guy kept rolling the 17-yard gains, the 19 or 18s. I was like, man, why can't I hit those?
Let's take a look at if you rank anywhere. See, that's interesting. When you don't show up on this sheet, it's a pretty good thing. It's almost like you don't want to show up to a certain extent because that means, like my team, you see all the flat passes and look-ins. My whole team is built around it, you know. But Mark, your team doesn't show up at all. I don't think on the
I,
leaders, which means you sort of toward the middle of tendencies.
yeah, I try to spread it around, and I have capabilities at all levels at least, which is good offensively.
Who's catching your
Yeah,
deep ball? Deontay Harris.
Deontay Harris is definitely the deep threat. Although Keenan, yeah, Deontay Harris and this one, yeah. Keenan Allen
Yeah,
isn't a great deep baller, but Deontay is, yeah, he's pretty lethal, and he's got an asterisk at 70 some yards. So if he does hit that long gain, he can go the distance.
Hmm. And you're not hitting the cover off the ball. Obviously, 2786 to 2701 in yards. So, and you do have a .6 yards per play advantage. How do you see? You got the Green Bay, you got Chicago,
It's a
and
tough quad coming up.
Chicago.
I think
Yeah,
there's 2 or 3 in the upper half.
Chicago 6-2, and then you've got New Orleans. New Orleans is where are they? 2-6. That's a little better. San Diego, I think, has been underperforming, but they're still 5-3.
It's going to be a tough John.
Hmm.
Probably my toughest 4-game stretch, I think, so far. When you look at just the records that are out there.
Let's see. Green Bay beat those four. And Arizona, you beat. I thought you had beaten New England last quarter. It looks like you did
No,
not.
I don't think
Mark.
Mike and I don't. I
No,
was looking forward to playing him. He's kind of a legend, but he's not on my schedule.
Yeah.
no, I played New England this upcoming block.
And New England finished
I
two
have a
and
t-
two
I have
on
a
the
tough
quarter.
I have a tough next 4 games. I think so.
Let's see here. Arizona, yes. New England, yeah, that's a tough one. Atlanta, we play each other. Okay,
Yeah,
get that one in tonight, maybe. And then Mike, if you're around, then Mike and Indianapolis. So yeah, that is tough for you,
yeah,
Butch. The Patriots finished 4-0. They went 2-2 this quarter, but that's a lethal team. I was taking a look at one interesting stat. What was it for New England? Where they were 24th, maybe in something you would not expect them to be in. Maybe it was takeaways or I don't know where it was, but the team is loaded with a good D and Brady and Elijah Mitchell. So you don't know which way to turn. DeAndre Hopkins, he can catch the ball. I mean, not the
mhm,
best catcher. And Dearness Johnson is like a Jordan Howard, even souped up to be even more powerful. And there's a bunch of 6-2 teams here. As you look ahead, knowing the top 10 make the playoffs, right?
right.
7, 8, 9, 10. Right now, there's a bunch at 5-3. Got to think that the playoff line is going to be somewhere around pretty high, 9, 10 wins. Because
Yeah,
we seem to have a slew of teams at 2 wins or one, which is going to put more pressure to get above 500. At least get a couple games above 500 to secure a playoff spot. And there's a
yeah. And
bunch.
when I looked at this block, I was hoping to go 2-2. So we'll see how it goes.
Let's take a look at the overall
I
league
feel the
leaders
same
here.
way. If I can come out 2-2, I'll feel pretty good.
Yeah,
Taking a look at the whole league. First, let's take a look at you, Butch.
okay.
So Garoppolo with 197 completions is fourth in the league. Third in rating at 100.8. Fifth in yards. He's in every category.
You know
So
what's
that's just
interesting about Garoppolo too? When you look at his stats, he should be a interception machine, and I think he's thrown all of 4 on the season.
and
Yeah,
those are
I think he's got 3. Yeah,
and Green Bay only has 4 turnovers for the entire year so far, which leads the league. So it's all about getting run calls. I mean, if he's not throwing guessed right,
Yeah, Nick Chubb
then
definitely makes you wonder.
yeah,
then you've got Samuel and Kelsey at 63 and 61 receptions, first and third in the league. So that offense is working right now. You're right. You get a very difficult schedule this quarter.
yeah.
Cousins in Arizona. Let's take a look there. Obviously, two successful teams here, so expect to see a bunch eighth or ninth in attempts, right in the middle of the top 10 in completions, number 2 in rating, 3 in yards, 3 in yards per pass. Deontay Harris, third in the league in average per catch. Keenan Allen, There's Deontay leads the league in yards. Wow. McCaffrey with 6 touchdowns, low average or not. Then let's take a look at your guys' sacks. Arizona's got Reddick with 5, and you're not in the top 10 there. So our two top teams are very successful passing the ball. It's interesting too because they're not $90 quarterbacks, or $80.
That's the key, I think, too. You remember, Anthony, how I was kind of complaining about Garoppolo, but
Yep.
I think he cost about a third of the price of Aaron Rodgers. So I can't complain.
The Falcons at 6-2 with the Bears. We already talked about Patriots a little bit. Niners at 6-2. So we've got 4 teams in that crop of 6-2 coming in here that are well positioned for the playoffs right now, but it's a long way from securing it. San Fran beat Atlanta. Yeah. Got Cleveland coming up. Dallas. Where is Dallas? Dallas is 5-3. Dallas is some interesting stats, including I think leading the league in guess percentage, if I saw that correctly, and that's always an important one. Now, guess percentage can be a little bit. Yeah, Dallas is number 1 in guess margin. It can be a little bit misleading. If you have a strong running team and you're running a lot, you're going to get a lot of guess strong running, and that's going to juice up your guess stats from the offensive side. The overall, which leads you to this one right here, guessed right all on defense, and you see Dallas is leading that too, and that's really what you want to look for. That's really what the challenge is. So he's guessing really well on D, is Bob, leading in sack win percentage, leading in sacks, and sits at 5-3. Seems to be a sneaky team with Josh Allen, who's always up and down, and then Zeke. And you see 47 carries for Josh Allen as well. Pitts, Lamb, team to look out for. My squad on the corner, I think we finished 3-1. Yeah, lost to San Fran. So the loss came to Lawrence's Niners, and you see here it was not as close as the score, as I got a late touchdown. Then beat the aforementioned Cowboys, the Jets, and then Seattle. And we'll get to Seattle soon, and they're 3-5 record, which I know surprises most of us. The quarter upcoming for Atlanta is Tampa, Cincy, Green Bay, and Chicago. So it seems like nobody gets an easy schedule.
That's a tough run right there.
Yep. Yeah. So hold on. Just don't know where it's going to go. And I've been flat passing and passing my way to success. I mean, the whole team is built around it. Third downs are some insane number. Yeah, 47% on third down. It's tough. It's tough to defend this team on third. It just is. When you have, a 3rd and 5 to 10, that's when, look, the yak isn't going to help you on 3rd and 1. It's not going to help you on 3rd and 2. It just doesn't matter. If you the common results, right, in that 6, 7, 8 range, which spreads really throughout all of the yak ratings, doesn't make a difference there. Where it makes a difference is when you get above 5 yards. Then the yak can kick in and get you a first down. And and I'm going to have to switch it up a little bit because my tendencies are showing. So I'll be throwing into a lot of 3-man short pass or 0-man long pass as people start to creep up on me. So I know that you know what I'm doing, right? But so far, been able to get those AAC guys out in space on 3rd and 5 to 10 and just rip it up for 47% on 3rd down. And that's really been the key. I mean, Javonte is not the best back. He's fine and dandy, and he's getting his 4.7 yards. And you see 3 guys here above 50 receptions, but look at those yards per catch, right? That tells you exactly what's going on. You got my top 2 guys under 10 yards per. Hardman sits at 10.0. The other side of the ball, though, is a huge help for the Falcons because the pass D with all those coverage guys is full in 5s and 6s, and you can see here on pass defense leads the league in completions, completion percentage, yards, and touchdowns against. But on the other end, people are running like wild. Second to last in rushing yards, second to last in rushing average, despite having a good run D, which just tells you where my guessing has been. My guessing has been on the pass, and that's when you guys have your record or my record right now anyway, you are going to tend to guess pass more because you're winning more, right? And you're sort of letting the team run to a certain extent, but the formula is really the foundation of a good pass D. I could use a little more pass rush though. If you're looking to the fourth quarter, Mark, and you're trying to shore up your team, what are you looking for an
I
in-season trade?
almost started shopping this quarter. I'm going to look at the guys towards the bottom, see if I can get a 6-rated corner. I figure it's going to cost me someone like Bradbury or a Derek Brown that I have under $10 in cap, and they're going to get a real solid player next year. But that 6 would flip my pass defense to good.
Mm-hmm.
And it would, I'm rocking 2-4 corners right now, which is tough.
Yeah, that is tough. It's amazing you're doing what you're doing with 2-4 corners. Yeah, yep, 2-4s. You got okay, your nickel is a 5. Phillips. Are you putting Phillips in coverage, or is he running free safety for you? Your 6-6.
Really depends on who I'm playing, how good their tight end is. I'll move Phillips around based on need.
Yep.
If I
How
play
about you?
someone like you that likes to flat pass a lot, I'll move him as a free safety so I can swing him into one of those zones and try to get a 6 up there sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Butch, what are you looking for? Defense, I imagine. But you have
Yeah,
any
if I could get
pieces to
something in
move?
the front 7. I would not be opposed to moving a wide receiver if I could get somebody in the front 7.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't. I have some good. I guess you could say third and fourth wide receivers. I think they're good anyway. They're fun to play. So, but I would definitely like to move. Get somebody on the front 4 or a linebacker. But so I think everybody's looking for linebackers. So I doubt that. I wouldn't be opposed to doing what Mark said either, looking at the bottom teams and trying to get a 5 or a 6 safety to shore up to improve my pass D a little bit more. So
I figure they'll be looking to improve next year, and
yeah,
I've got a couple pieces that look like they're going to be 6s in them. Like I said, sub $10. So
yeah,
that's the
that
key.
might be
That's the key.
appealing.
And remember, I mean, it's a good time probably to review these rules, right? So you can only do one in-season trade per year. So use it
right.
wisely. Can't involve a running card. Can't involve a passing card. It can involve a receiving card. No, it can.
Mm-hmm.
Just not running or passing card. The guy you send, like the wide receiver Butch in your example, okay,
Mm-hmm.
he can't be over $25.
Right.
So that does limit you, it handcuffs you to a certain extent, because basically you are the team that is the dumpee, right? Somebody's
Yeah.
dumping onto you a big salary guy, and you're giving back the low piece. So
Right.
each trade needs to include somebody who's more than $25, and it can only go one way.
Right.
You can't get one back. You can't offset it 2 for 1. There's got to be a $25 guy in the deal, and it's got to be going one way. Can it be multiple players in the deal? Yes. So
Yeah.
you can have a $25 guy and then 3 $5 guys. Fine.
Yeah.
But one way ticket in terms of the asterisk player, the guy who's over 25, or a Z. We don't have any Z's this year. Going one way to the other. Then, I mean, that's really the main bit. And if you look at, for example, I mean, I was looking at trying to move maybe Decker, or maybe Runyon, right? And they are actually pretty good candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're the ones that somebody's going to come after. If somebody's coming after one of my guys, they're coming after Rankins, right? Who's going to probably get a pretty good rating next year. The question of whether he's listed as a starter or not, up and down. I mean, you sort of roll the dice a little bit. But worst case, he's going to be a keeper at $2. I mean, there's no way he won't be a keeper. I can actually give back somebody because these guys aren't 25. I can give back a Decker or a Runyon because they just happen to be below that threshold.
Mm-hmm.
I can't move a Ryan Kelly, really, right? Can't move a Vita
Yeah.
Vea. Can't move even a Seiler. Um, so that limitation you have to keep in mind. I expect a slew of these deals. I'm gonna try to get one done. I really would like to upgrade, especially at defensive end, where Jerry Hughes is
Yeah.
kind of killing me over here. I need some pass rush there. Need some serious pass rush. My only pass rush comes from Bosa right now, and he's a zero out there. You know, teams that can make a bit of a comeback. So since he looks like it's going to be taken over by Jody, who we know from a couple different leagues, I'm sure Jody
Mm-hmm.
Bowers,
Yeah.
and he's taken on New England, Atlanta, Indy, and Vegas. So you've got to get through, got to beat one of New England and Atlanta, and assume he can get wins. No guarantee win versus Indy, and no guarantee win versus Vegas either. This is not a badly constructed team at all for 1-7. I mean, I was lucky to get past them because Herbert got hurt. You got Herbert leading the way. It's not at all a bad team, but he might be able to make a run. Detroit, I think, is also a sneaky good team. I believe they beat me. Yes, Detroit beat me 30-29 and sits at 3-5. Lawrence is the quarterback, and that's look. I mean, to a certain extent, you might just say, "Hey, fold up the tent. You're not going to win the Super Bowl with Lawrence." So you might see Detroit sell for that reason alone, knowing Lawrence is probably going to have a pretty strong card next year and forevermore. Um, but that team is not necessarily easy to beat, and Lawrence he's done okay, 79.6. Seems to me he's done a little bit better than that. Surprised to see that rating so low. And there are the Colts at 3-5. Murray, always a so-so quarterback. You always wish you had more. Gibson doesn't give you the average, so he's got some difficulties on offense. Facing Seattle, Tampa, Cincy, and Green Bay. Scott's always a good coach, tough to beat. Sitting at just 3-5 and has Jackson, Patterson, and Kamara. That's a good core. And then Seattle. I just played Seattle. Seattle's at 3-5. Butch, your thoughts on Seattle? Have you faced the Hawks?
I have not.
Have either? You
I
just
believe I
won them
played them.
once. Yeah, 24-20 win for Arizona
Yeah, it was a
in the second
close one.
quarter.
Carson Wentz cost him, I think, as I recall, some picks.
Mm-hmm. In my game, I just got out to a big lead, somewhere in the range of 27-0 after a Milano interception, and just coasted from that point. The trying to move the ball with Wentz, um, 13 of 30. Look at that, just ugly. 43.3. How's he doing on the year? I mean, it's not a bad card. Not a bad card. Butch, I'm still going to want him in Samsa from you.
Yeah, he'll definitely be available.
So it's either him or Heineke that I'll be looking for, probably, for
Yeah.
the Samsa year. But look at that rating, 94.2. So it was an aberration versus me, and somehow they're still 3-5. You traded in Miles Sanders, Butch, I believe,
Yep, I did. That's how I got my offensive line.
with a 7.1 average. Robinson at 5.1.
Yeah, he's
Defense
running
not doing. He's
strong.
plus 500 yards. He's plus 500. That's got to be up there. Interesting. So I would say Seattle. Obviously,
What
a
is,
great coach.
what do his turnovers look like? I mean, that sounds like a team that might be turning the ball over a lot.
Let's see. Wentz has thrown away 3, which
Huh?
doesn't sound that bad for him. He's taken away
No.
7. On the fumbles, he's given away 6 and taken away 2. So some
Okay.
untimely fumbles.
Yeah.
On the sack battle's about even. Third down's about even. Fourth down's kind of immaterial. And I mean, you're gonna say that they're close losses? Not really. Um, there's a close one, close one, close one. Not as close. Not as close. Jacksonville at 2-6. And the question all these teams have to face is, all right, you're going to try to acquire a keeper for next year, or are you going to maybe play out the first 3 games and see where you are? Because if you come out at 5-6, at that point you're probably going for it.
Yeah.
But if you drop 2 of 3 and you're 3-7 or 3-8, then you're ready to make a move. So I think all of us will be taking a look at these rosters of the 2-6 and below guys and see if there's a good fit for an in-season move. All right. Anything else to look at, guys, that we haven't looked at?
It should be a good third quarter. I think we're going to see some trades
Yeah.
at the end of it.
Now, Anthony, what was you cannot trade a player that was over 25?
You
One.
can.
Okay.
One, but for someone like you who's trying to improve your team, no, it's not going to work that way, really. I mean, you could,
Right.
but what it's designed to be is that you're giving up an expensive guy. So you're getting an expensive guy, and you're giving up a cheap keeper. The guys that you're
Right.
trading to, the guys who are out of it, should be looking for a cheap keeper.
Right.
And as they get the cheap keeper, they're giving you back a star who's typically higher priced.
Yeah. I'm just, I've always toyed with the idea of trading one of my 6 corners just to see what I could get, and I still may think about that. If I could fill 2 holes with one guy, I might do that,
Well, I mean, are they both above 25? I imagine they are.
Yeah, it's Ramsey
Yep.
and Terrell.
Yep.
So
I mean, are they
I won't.
keepers?
I'm sorry.
Are they keepers? Right.
Uh,
We shall see.
yeah, probably one for sure. The other one is maybe up in the air a little bit. So we'll see.
And then who would be your trading partner, right? It would be another contender in theory. And it's nothing wrong with that. You can trade to another contender. I mean, you can, as long as you follow the rules, you can do that. And we should all be looking at that. I mean, the rules try to prevent that from happening, but it doesn't mean that it's prevented. It can certainly happen. So you trade Terrell, let's say to me, I don't need a 6, I don't think. I mean, everybody could use one, but if you did trade him to me, I'd have to give you back, right? Probably this 5 corner and DJ Reed, who I may not want to give up because he's probably going to be a 6 at $36 next year. But if I did, and then the rest of the trade is just small dollar guys. That's legal.
Right.
Oh, actually, no, sorry, that's not legal.
Couldn't. Yeah.
Because no, I couldn't because he's over 25. Yeah.
Yep.
It's hard. It's harder to find a partner. Yeah.
You could do Von Bell or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona is your more likely guy to trade with. Why don't we take a look at that? So, you were saying who? Somebody from your side?
The 3 guys I think would be interesting would be Derek Brown at 9. He's going to be a 6. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a 6 next year, defensive tackle. Dre Greenlaw looks like he's going to be a stud at outside linebacker. Don't think I really want to move him, but at 1B, he's a pretty tasty contract. And then I could flip James Bradbury as a 10B. He's only a 4 this year. Pretty sure he's going to be a 6 next year. His PFF rating's pretty good. He's making the Pro Bowl. Pretty sure he'll be 6 rated.
And what Butch needs is ratings now.
Yeah, so trading with me doesn't help him unless he's thinking next year he can run out without that 6 and stock up next year.
Tuttle's interesting here to get Butch a 5 on the defensive line. I think you probably need that, Butch. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing you do. As long as it doesn't damage your ratings.
I'm starting to 0 there now.
Yeah, run side I'm actually pretty stacked at. I'm well over on the run.
He's under 25. And then Butch could even use a 4. To Butch's point, he's even running with a 0 there now. So you, in theory, could give up one of these guys. Not that I want to be a broker in your deal, but just sort of getting people used to the concept of one-way $25 guy or higher. One way. One guy, one way. So in this case, it's one of Butch's cornerbacks going your way. You're giving him back a 4 corner. You're giving him back maybe a 5 along the defensive line. And Butch may want even a bit more than that, I imagine. Probably one more guy.
See, I'm torn because I think this roster is going to be really good next year.
Mm-hmm.
So do I really try to? I mean, I've got a good thing going this year, but I think this is going to be an even more potent roster next season.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
fellas. Anything else to add, Butch?
No, I don't think so. I think.
Good luck to all of you and everyone
Yeah,
that
good.
isn't on. It's been a fun season. Thanks for putting this together. This is a fun format. I was telling my other league about it. The moves I was possibly looking to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were intrigued. I told them we had Cincinnati available. I'll have to tell them that that's been filled.
Yeah, looks that way. We should have an official word on that shortly. But if we don't, please keep them warm on the side, and we'll see. You know, I'm not at all opposed to expanding in-season trading next year. I think I'd probably always be against having running cards or passing cards involved, but
Right.
you know, maybe we go up to 2 trades instead of 1, something like that. Because it is fun. It's fun to because it's 2-dimensional, right? You're not only looking at improving your team this year, but you get the added dimension of seeing how your bench is doing in the NFL during the year, and
Yeah.
and then being able to cash that in now is a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it goes a little bit the other way too with this concept. You know, in a regular keeper league, having Garoppolo break his ankle would have probably pissed me off a little bit more than it did in this league. So, you
Yep.
know, because it's kind of plug and play, you can replace him hopefully if I need to. So,
Yes.
There should be
Kinda
some
interesting.
quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
More player movement. All right, guys. Appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have a good weekend. Happy
You
holidays.
too. And Butch,
Yeah,
you want to
take
get it in
care, guys.
tonight? You around?
Yeah, that's a possibility. And just FYI for anybody looking, one of the guys I do have that I could trade is Javon Hargrave. So I think he's under, and he's got 8 sacks and he's got a
Is he finally
78.
popping this year? I haven't been paying attention to him.
Yeah, he's got 8 sacks and a 78 PFF rating, and I know he was under $25. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, he's about me.
somebody that might work. Give me you're old, you're dead, you're never playing again, and I'll go for it. So we'll see how it plays out. So yeah, let me know what time you want to start, Anthony, and I could probably get it in.
You want to do? You're in the West Coast, right? Want to do 10
Yes,
East,
sir.
7 West?
That'll work for me.
Okay, great. Mark it down.
Looking forward to playing you, Butch. That'll be a fun game.
Let me know when you want to get it in, Mark. We'll get it in.
Yeah, I'll shoot you my schedule. I'll IM it and email it. Let me take a look ahead, and we'll get it out there so it can be whoever wants to join can join in. Hopefully, we give them a good game, and the strat dice are at least fair both ways.
Let's hope so. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. As a reminder, we are ending the quarter January 15th, so a little bit behind schedule, but not too far behind. But I'll try to stay on everybody a little bit tighter toward the end of the quarter so we can make sure we end this one on time. Thanks for watching. We will see you again shortly.
You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.